Prix victory, his first of the year, to rivet Ferrari's lead in the Constructors' Championship, to move up into second equal position with Mika Häkkinen and Heinz-Harald Frentzen. So there will be 3 people in second position in the Drivers' Championship and only 2 points covering the top 4. What an absolutely fabulous thought as we go to Monaco for the around the houses race in the Principality in a fortnight's time on May the 16th. Look at the Ferrari banners going. And Mika Salo is out of the race. I can tell you he's being pushed down the pit lane as Michael Schumacher comes down to the Traguardo for the last time. Round turn 16, turn 17, to win the San Marino Grand Prix. Fist aloft, a gesture of victory. A wonderful win for Michael Schumacher and Ferrari, and the Ferrari team are justifiably, absolutely euphoric. Well, it was not to be McLaren's race after all. Mika Häkkinen out very early. A brilliant strategy. I think that's what sewed it up for Schumacher with his skill and experience.
I mean, you look at it now to the first sort of quarter of the race when Mika was just dominating it, and you see what happens. The Ferraris must be very, very happy, and you must say that Michael looks tough. He looks really tough to do the championship, although the McLarens were very, very fast at the beginning.
Well, there's no doubt about it. It's the conventional wisdom that he's the finest driver of his day. He's proved it today, not only by winning the race the way he has, but his dominance once he had taken the lead. And he leads the Drivers' Championship now by 4 points. As I expected, Ferrari drivers are first and second, with Eddie Irvine 4 points behind his team leader, second in the championship, ahead of Heinz-Harald Frentzen and Mika Häkkinen, tying for third place on 10 points. Ralf Schumacher is in 5th place, 1 point ahead of David Coulthard, who finishes second, but a rather bitter defeat, I think, for David. He drove his heart out, as he always does, but the superior tactics and, frankly, the superior speed and reliability, there's the story of the race. Mika Häkkinen shattered McLaren, lying by the side of the road after he had pushed so hard to get a 20-second lead, only to go off. And I'm expecting a crowd invasion here, although it's going to be very difficult for them on account of the fact that there's netting all the way round. But
not in Italy. It's not difficult for them to get through a bit of barbed wire.
Well, here we are. There's the Ferrari, and Michael Schumacher wins the San Marino Grand Prix for the second time. First in 1994 for Benetton, second last year, second the year before, first in 1999, brilliantly to take those 10 vital World Championship points. And of course, in the process, to go into the lead in the World Championship. Michael joined Ferrari to lead their renaissance. He said he could have had more money, believe it or not. He's paid about £25 million a year. He could have made more money somewhere else. He said it wasn't the money, it was the thought of being able to lead Ferrari back to where he believes they ought to be, at the front. Well, he's showing every sign of doing it. This is a Ferrari renaissance, a Ferrari revival. Italy will be overjoyed. Ferrari fans all around the world will be overjoyed, particularly with the knowledge that they now lead the Constructors' Championship by a massive 12 points after only 3 races from McLaren. Jordan are in 3rd place, where they want to finish the championship at worst and beat McLaren if they can. They're only 3 points behind McLaren, and they are 6 points ahead of Williams, who are 4th, and 7 points ahead of Benetton, who are 5th, with Jackie Stewart's team in a fine 6th position on 4 World Championship points. The top 11, because only 11 finished here out of the 22 who started, 50%, Michael Schumacher wins by 4.2 seconds from David Coulthard. Ferrari beats McLaren. Barrichello third, 1 lap down, just ahead, less than a second ahead of Damon Hill, who gets his first World Championship points of the year. Giancarlo Fisichella finishes 5th and gets 2 points for Benetton. Jean Alesi in 6th position, Sauber's World Championship point. 7th position, Mika Salo, 1 lap down, ahead of Luca Badoa and Marc Genet. Both the Minardis finished, although 3 laps down. And I think Johnny Herbert will be classified, but Michael Schumacher, the overjoyed winner. Thumbs up to Italy.
You can just see the joy in his hands when he was putting his hand up in the car and the way he's doing it. I think this is a hard-earned victory, and he knows it.
This is the 67th time, bit of statistics for you, in 120 races that Michael Schumacher has been on the podium. More than 50% of his races he's been in the top 3.
Incredible, incredible. Certainly getting to be one of the best of all time. I don't think he's there yet, in my opinion, but he's certainly the best at the moment.
Ex-Ferrari driver Jean Alesi. Michael forever, says Italy. Well, they won't be changing their mind after today as he gets on the scales, as they have to do. The first 3 always have to get on the scales because the cars are weighed, the drivers are weighed, and if their joint weights are less than a mandatory figure, they're in trouble. But it won't be with Ferrari and Michael Schumacher. Well, I can tell you that a very, very happy Italian crowd are starting to go home in front of me, particularly as they see Mika Häkkinen's broken McLaren being transported down the pit straight in front of them. And that really rubs salt into the McLaren wounds. Not at all a good start for McLaren. No finishers in Australia. 1 finisher, admittedly the winner, in Brazil. Only 1 finisher, admittedly 2nd place in San Marino at Imola, David Coulthard. But McLaren had 3 years in the wilderness after they lost Honda engines. They'll fight back, they'll get stuck in. Ron Dennis says there is only 1 recipe for lack of success, and that is a lot of very hard work. And they know what that is all about at Woking. But then Ferrari know exactly the same thing. It looks as though we're in for a wonderful rest of the season.
Yes, and Murray, I just want to thank you. It's been really good fun working with the whole team from ITV. I've really enjoyed it. And the people that are going to write into Autosport insulting me, don't bother. I know how bad I was.
Oh, nonsense, Jody. Really nice to have you with us. Well, now we wait for the podium ceremony, and a very happy Rubens Barrichello up there. It's been a great race for Stewart. They nearly had two drivers in the top 6. Well, it's lovely to see Michael Schumacher. There's the famous Schumacher leap. There's a man who's always happy to show that he's pleased to have won the race. Not everybody is like that. Some of them look as though they've lost it. But now the German national anthem rings out for Michael Schumacher, winner at Imola. Understandable difference in reactions between second place David Coulthard and winner Michael Schumacher as the Italian national anthem rings out for Ferrari. Michael Schumacher wins for Ferrari in Italy. A very appropriate result. Ferrari drivers lead the Drivers' Championship. Ferrari leads the Constructors' Championship. And there's a mighty big trophy for Michael to take home to his home in Switzerland. You'll need an even bigger trophy cabinet for that one. David Coulthard takes the trophy for second place. It could have been so much better, but it was destined not to be.
Murray, is it going to be a dominance, or at least a repeat of last year when the McLarens dominate in speed and Ferrari seems to pull them out all the time?
Well, they certainly seem to be going that way, Jody. Ferrari have got the reliability, and who knows better than you that to get points you've got to finish in the race. Yes, you've got to finish at the highest possible speed, but Ferrari did it last year, as you rightly point out, and on reliability, and they may well do it again.
Murray, thank you very much indeed, and special thanks to Jody Scheckter. Don't underestimate yourself, Jody. You're welcome back anytime. Jody Scheckter, the last man to win the world title for Ferrari 20 years ago. Is this finally going to be Ferrari's year? They were certainly due a win here, as we have a little look at the start once again. When you rejoin us in a few minutes' time, we'll be looking back at all the key moments of the race. There'll be interviews as well. There is still a lot to discuss about Ferrari's triumph at San Marino. We will be right back.
Coulthard stalled in Brazil. This time it was the turn of Jacques Villeneuve. There we are. And how the field all got past, I don't know. You can see the tyre smoke, which can totally obscure their vision there. And David Coulthard was alongside for quite a good period there, alongside Mika Häkkinen, made a great start. Now, also, Villeneuve, it was a great shot of him beating his helmet, and we hadn't seen him beat his helmet since he lost it in '97 in Canada when he hit the wall. Truly went off in that early fracas. But there was another shot that we saw earlier on from the top, which was seeing again. Just look at Frentzen. He nearly clipped the back. So did one of the Prost there as they went round the corner. Now, in '82, although it's a long time ago, Riccardo Paletti did that from the back, hit Pironi's Ferrari in front, and the driver was actually killed.
Desperately tough for British American Racing, the new team. I mean, built very, very expensively, but they expected something here after Villeneuve had done so well in qualifying.
Yeah, I mean, Villeneuve really pulled one out of the hat. I have to say congratulations to Supertech as well, because this was the first of their 4 revisions to make the engine a little bit faster. They'd worked very hard in Jerez during the test, and it's nice to see Villeneuve back, isn't it, and fire in his belly again.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, at the start of the race, it looked like a procession. It looked like, once again, Mika Häkkinen giving them all a driving lesson, didn't it?
After 16 laps, he was coming up behind Marc Genet, who was at the back of the field, and he was already 5.4 seconds ahead of David Coulthard in second place. Now, we're starting to think here, what is going on? Was he on a different strategy? I mean, we're pretty sure he was. He was quite angry there, the way he ducked back in front of the Spaniard. But what would have happened if McLaren had got all the way through with their own strategy? They could have gone on a 3-stopper strategy. Alesi did it, Salo did it, they got away with it, and Alesi finally got into the points with a very poor car. Now, this is Häkkinen's problem, though. Look at him attacking those curbs the whole time, up on it, bang, crash, off he goes. The pendulum effect. He has become Tommy Mäkinen this whole weekend, his compatriot, the World Championship rally star, because he's been hurling this McLaren around all over the place. Look at it again. What he did, he got the inside of the tyre over the curb, the pendulum came, the front tyres gripped, sent him at 90 degrees straight into the wall. That's a big accident for Häkkinen. I think he'd be in a lot of trouble with Ron Dennis for that.
Well, all along we've said what a calm act he is, what almost a faultless act he has been, but Jody in his commentary said in his day he'd have had a real old slat and said, "Stupid boy."